Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're here to showcase the meta lockdown build for Comp Pro Am and NBA 2K22 Next Gen. So, we're going to get straight into this one. I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff, and like always, try to 500 likes. So you can see the build that we have displayed in today's vid is going to be 6'7", it's 180 on the weight. This is the 6'7" glitched metric build. So what you're going to see is the height is 6'7", however the stats are 6'6". Now, mind you, the build's really like 6'6.5", so really all you're doing is adding an extra ½ inch to your build on a 6'6", but either way, it's still slightly better than a regular 6'6" would be. And again, I bring these videos to you guys of the meta build for Comp Pro Am because these heights are the meta builds, like the 5'10" or 5'9" point guards, the 6'3" shooting guards, 6'7" lock, 6'9" hedge, 7'2" center. They are what everybody runs. So this right here, like I said, it's not me showcasing a very original or different build from what anybody runs. It's actually the opposite of that. We're showing the best build that everybody uses for Comp Pro Am. So again, 6'7", 180 on the weight, 7'4" wingspan. This is metric though, so I'm going to have to showcase to you guys at the end of the video how to actually set this up. You're not just going to get these ratings when you make a 6'7", 180, 7'4" wingspan build. You have to do a couple modifications in the metric system before, so we'll go ahead and showcase that at the very end of the video. But again, this is meant to be a lockdown build for Pro Am, particularly as well. It's not like I'm saying this is the best way of making a 6'7" metric build if you're trying to play park with it, if you're trying to run the point with it. Obviously, this isn't the best setup for it. However, in my opinion, it suits perfectly toward being a pure lockdown. Like, you are the guy who is guarding ball 24/7. You're going to fight through screens, you're going to fight through wraps. You are trying to be the hindrance to the other team's point guard. So with this build, you have 98 perimeter defense and 99 steal, 81 block for the gold intimidator, as well as just having a decent block rating for defense in general. You have 82 rebounds, 77 O-board as well. There are some times that you want to crash off the corner on offensive rebounds. Let's say the guard is guarding you, and chances are if you're the 6'7", you likely have someone at the 4 lined up on your team who's also spotting up corner. So chances are you have very small people lined up on you when you are spotting up in the corner. They're putting like a 5'9" point guard on you in that corner. So the more O-board you have, the more liable it is for you to actually crash out of that corner and make it a problem for the guards on the rebounding end. Not to mention, doing so also just helps you get some extra defensive badges. So it's kind of a win-win in that sense. And it doesn't cost a super high amount of your attribute points to be putting into. So overall, I think it's just a pretty good thing to do for your lockdown builds. But again, you can see 31 defensive badge count. You have all of the really important badges on Hall of Fame, some of the very key ones on gold like Intimidator and Chase Down, and then Rim Protector unfortunately is only going to be at silver, but it's still decent. And again, having 82 D-board gives you silver rebound chaser and Hall of Fame box as well. Not that Hall of Fame box is something you'd ever run, but still having it on like silver could be pretty nice for you, especially if you're maybe doing a versatile lockdowns job where you could switch on to the big every now and then. And I think you can handle a little bit of it. You're mainly going to be playing for passing lanes if you do switch with the guy that's hedging with you. But again, this build right here is meant to be on ball as a 6'7", then you likely have a 6'9" on the backside playing hedge defense. And again, if you get stuck on a screen, that 6'9" has a versatility. He can still hang with the guards on the perimeter. You can play a passing lane and still maybe have a chance at getting a decent block or getting a box out for the rebound. You don't have to be able to jump with the 7'3", but at least boxing him out and helping your 7'3" who's crashing off the corner get that rebound. It's important for you to be able to steal that box out off if you do end up in a switch situation. But again, to talk about things not related to defense, you still have things like speed, which helps defense. I mean, it just is what it is. Vertical is only 75. Acceleration doesn't deal with actual defensive movement. It's only when the ball is in your hands. It doesn't have anything to do with you running down the court on offense or running down the court on defense unless the ball is in your hand. So literally just all acceleration is tied to. I do recommend to upgrade strength as high as you can, but I don't think it's worth getting your weight super high for just to be able to get more strength. I think speed is 100% the most important thing as a lockdown. And then past that, if you have your speed max for whatever your height is, I think that's perfectly fine, and then you can just put the rest into strength. And I don't think it's worth upgrading the weight just to get more strength, but I do think you should upgrade it still. So anyway, again, 75 vertical, 99 stamina. We have decent speed with ball, decent ball handle, decent pass accuracy. It's nothing perfect, but it's definitely still good enough to get the job done. Again, acceleration is what's going to correlate a little bit with speed with ball. Like, it's going to definitely limit your ability of ball handling if your acceleration is low. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, this is meant to be a lockdown build for Pro Am. It's not something that's going to be perfect when you tell your boys, yo, let's hop on the 2s. I'm going to run point with my 6'7", or 3s, and you're going to run point with your 6'7" like this. Again, having 78 acceleration with 80 speed with ball and 70 pass accuracy does not get the job done like that, but it definitely is good enough to still play in Comp Pro Am 100%. Again, another thing that would relate to park a little bit better is having more driving dunk. If you had 84, you could get contact dunks. It does go a long way in terms of opening up your offensive catalog, but as a lockdown defender on Pro-Am, really getting quick drops on like Silver Limitless Takeoff is all you really need, to be honest with you. And then for your remaining 3 finishing badges, you could either go bronze on all 3 of these things between Lob, Finisher, Posterizer, and Slithery, or just do away with Lob and Posterizer entirely and run Silver, Slithery, Finisher, Silver Limitless Takeoff. Simple as that. Whatever you want to do between the 6, it's totally up to you in that regard. So, as for the shooting, there's 2 different ways you can go about the build entirely. So it all deals with wingspan. As you can see, I have a 7'4" wingspan on this build. If you go down to 7'3" wingspan, you could get your 3-pointer up to 80. And what that would allow you to do is have Hall of Fame Sniper without actually having to upgrade your mid-range to 80. Because you're going to need that for at least one of the 2 ratings to have Hall of Fame Sniper. And again, with this build, the reason we went super high in the wingspan is to have the Gold Intimidator. You can see if you go 1 lower, you're going to get 80 block rating, however you get 80 3-pointer. So it's a complete trade-off when it comes to that. If you have enough points on your build that you can invest all of that into mid-range, even though you're likely not shooting a whole lot of mid-range shots with this build, you're probably just a corner spot up, and it's as simple as that, and you're never really leaving the 3-point or anything like that. So again, totally up to you how you go about that. This is my personal opinion right here, is if you're going to be a role player lockdown who doesn't do a whole lot on offense, but you want to contribute in a very large way on defense, that Gold Intimidator is probably worth it, to be honest with you, for multiple different reasons. But anyway, moving along, this is what you're looking at for the build. The perimeter defense and steal is amazing. I mean, I can't even understate that at all, combined with the speed that you have, of the length of the build too, and then you have also, like I said, 6'7" for your height. Now, one thing I do want to mention too, you can check this out with the body shape. I've been suggesting built lockdowns because I feel like they're more bumpy and burly, if you get what I'm saying. But this right here, I hate that I like even talk about body shape because I feel like it's so cringe to talk about stuff like this. And it's like some 2K geek stuff. But as you can see, with the built, your body shape, the wingspan is smaller than it is in Define. I mean, you can see it's notably maybe like 2 extra inches of visual difference. Now, again, this is all just about stature. One of them's more wide, one of them's more long. Whatever you prefer between the 2 of them, it's totally up to you. I think Defined is probably the move though when it comes to these lockdown builds. Every bit of wingspan can go a long way for passing lanes, for steals, the list goes on and on. Now you can see the very visible negative to this build is the fact that you only get 2 takeover options, and one of them is shot creator, so that's pretty useless, to be honest with you. I mean, especially in a comp Pro-Am setting, no one's running shot take on their 3 or their lockdown or anything like that. It makes no sense to do that. It's just going to be such a waste. So honestly, you're probably stuck 100% on running lockdown takeover. If you can get Sabador as your takeover perk, that's huge, but it's very hard to do so. You have to do a lot of challenges and stuff like that, and then on top of that, you actually have to sit here and wait and check every single day to check if the goal is popping up. So it's definitely hard to get that consistently. Chances are you're probably just going to run double lock take with accelerator and just hope that you can make an impact when it comes to that side of things. But again, even lockdown takeover, it's still going to boost your speed really good, perimeter defense, steal, albeit your perimeter D and steal are literally max, so it's not like anything's getting boosted in that regard. But speed does still go a long way as a defender, and having takeover active is going to nearly put you at like 97. So that right there is the #1 meta lockdown build in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. If you guys were only here to see what the build visually looks like, I do appreciate you watching the video, and if you made it to this point of the vid, put 6-7 in the comments. Show support you made it to this point. But now what we're going to do is showcase to you how to actually create the build. Because again, this build right here is just the display. It's not what you would actually get if you were to make your build 6'7", 180 or anything like that. So again, we're going to go ahead and showcase to you straight up from start to finish how to make this. It's a little bit of a process though, so just stick with me on this. We'll try and make it really smooth, one take, simple as that. So anyway, we got shooting guard. You can pick your handness, pick your jersey number. It doesn't really matter. What you're going to do is you're going to make your guy 6'3", 220 on the weight, and 7-foot wingspan, and then you're going to go ahead and make him burly. It's very important that you do this burly part. Now, from this point forward, you can do anything you want. It really does not matter right now. You're just creating the setup process. This is a pretty standard thing for any metric build. You're going to have to do stuff like this so that you can switch over to the Imperial. So just keep in mind, you can upgrade literally anything. It doesn't matter. Any takeover, just spam A on that part. Finish the build, and now come over to edit build. It's on the far right here on this screen. So now from this point forward, it's low-key very simple, and ironically this is how you also set up the 6'9" metric. So we're gonna go ahead and showcase that to you as well. But anyway, come back to the menu. You're gonna hit features, go to settings. You're gonna come down to this setting right here where you can change your units of measurement, change it to metric system instead of imperial. So now we're going back into the build, create the new file. You're gonna go ahead and find it. It's this chunky 6'3" that we just showed right here, number 14. I mean, this dude looks like 400 pounds at like 6'3", so it's pretty hilarious. But anyway, go ahead and edit build. You're gonna hit Y, and then just go ahead and yes the rebirth or no the rebirth, whatever you want to do. I don't know why you'd ever hit no, but anyway, moving along, you're going to edit the height. You're going to move over to the right. Go ahead and hit continue when you hit to the right, and now you're going to keep on going to the right until you're 2.05. Now, all you got to do is minimize the weight, maximize the wingspan, and now here you are with a 6'9" metric build. Now, here's the problem with the 6'7". It's a little bit more complex. There's one more step that you have to do, so just stick with me. But again, this is how you set up the 6'9" metric. That is really the meta power forward build. I'm still going to make the video for it, but I kind of just showcased to you guys how to do that. But anyway, same process here now. You have to max whatever. It doesn't matter. You're just going to put your ratings in randomly to anything. And again, same thing with Takeover. You can actually just go ahead and hit finish on this. And now that you've gone from Imperial to metric, now you're going back to Imperial to change your build to 6'7". Now, trust me, you have to do all this. You can't just put in the metric height. It's not a thing. You just follow the process. It's literally as simple as this. It doesn't take that long. So anyway, again, come to features, settings, go back down to this setting right here where you change the units of measurement. Go back to Imperial instead of metric where you're just at. And now, again, come back into the builder. You're going to go to the open save file. Go ahead and find the chunky 6'3" save file that we've now switched over to the 6'9" metric. And now you're going to hit edit build on this as well. And now all you have to do, literally as simple as this, move your height down to visually say 6'7". That's it. And now you can go ahead and minimize the weight. Now you can see you have a 6'7" build with 88 speed, 7'4" wingspan, and literally everything you need. You can go down to define as well if you'd like. But again, that's all video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to win to 500 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put metric in the comments, search reports made all the way through, just to show that you watched the whole process and you know, maybe you appreciate it, maybe you don't, as far as the process that I showed. But anyway, other than that, feel free to check out the point guard build that we did. Feel free to check out the center build. Those are both ones in the past from where I recorded this video. If you want to check out future ones, we're going to be uploading the shooting guard and the power forward one after this as well. I'm not exactly sure when, but I definitely do like showcasing to you guys the meta builds when it comes to every position. And I feel like I don't go into detail enough if I just showcase every build in one video, because that, first of all, is going to end up being like 45 to 50 minutes long, and nobody wants that for one video just showcasing builds. And again, it just gives me more content to put out to you guys and be more detailed with the badge loadouts and stuff like that and what you're looking to do with these builds. So anyway, other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.